Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Friday afternoon, May 1st. We're looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. A lot to talk about. Another weird day in a little bit of a sense as we end with a trend day down. However, 9 wide. Looked like the thing to do is to fade early after gapping lower, and A, B, C, and D kept going right around the opening. But things changed drastically. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's start with, first off, another bad tick. The high today in the SPY is 286.04, not 290.65 or whatever. So it distorts your charts. I had to just fix it. So we gap lower today, right? I said I'm not going to do anything right away. If anything, I'd be looking for a buy because we're getting down to around the gap here from the 27th. So I didn't do anything in A period. I watched it. It kept getting into the gap but couldn't fill it. Right? It went back and forth through the opening. Went back and forth through the opening the first 3 time frames. The first little nuance that something had changed was D period. However, the way it changed and with how dramatic it changed, I wasn't expecting either. And the reason for that is there was absolutely no tempo to the downside. Yes, I mean, we closed down 2.65%. We were down over 2% at this time. However, once we opened A, B, C, nothing. It was rotational. Yes, we have a big gap above us, but sellers weren't getting much. Right? We pushed down in B. Didn't even close the gap. C inside bar. And then finally D. And now I'll get to my trade. So the first trade I took was a sale in B. At one point, when it came back through the opening, I took it and took it off, I believe, around A's low. Didn't even wait for it to break. So that was one trade. Then I took a trade in E period, which got me in trouble. Oh, did I start it in D? I'm trying to think. No, it might have been E period. It was an E period. So A, B, and C, right, we're here. Something changed in D. We did not get to the opening, and we did fill the gap. However, it wasn't a lot of volume. The tempo had stunk the first 3. So when E opened, it did take out D's low right away. And right there, I should have known that something was different. Because a lot of times when the tempo is weak, you'll never take out like D's low. You'll trade inside the single prints. Now, again, I'm in 6-tick increments, so you can't really see. It's wider when you're in 1. And then you could take the long because I didn't think the market was good, but I didn't think the single prints would hold because of the lack of tempo early. So E around here in E period, I got long. Kept going back and forth, back and forth. It was trying to get in, came back, added, and then finally started going against me. I got out and gave back everything I made in B and was down. Was it a bad trade? Well, lower value, one-time framing down, and single prints. I mean, that's strike 1, 2, and 3 against me. But I'm telling you why I did do it, because at the time, yes, it changed. Obviously, it changed. But at the time, the tempo was still very, very weak for the sellers on the downside. So that's why I took it. Okay. Doesn't mean, though, I got stubborn, got out of the trade, and then the rest of the day I did nothing but shorts. So we had another set of single prints in F. I started shorting it. Actually, I got on board probably too early, started shorting it around here, kept shorting it as it went up, and then it came back down again. That was a good trade. I didn't do anything until K afterwards. I basically watched because, again, we were making new lows, but we're getting no distance away. We kept coming back in. We held these 2 sets of single prints, but after that, we couldn't make any more. So I was looking to see if we made a new low on a day, I would have possibly have faded it again, like I did it up here, only to see if we came back in. Or I was waiting for each rally to make a sale and short it. I did it in K. It worked out nicely. I did it in L. I mean, L period started ripping. I'm like, the odds of us filling single prints and start getting into the initial balance with value lower, the indices lower, and now we're building a POC. So the odds of going back to the POC were very good. Forget about the low. I couldn't care about the low at that point. If I'm shorting it up here, all I want is POC. And that's what I did. And I got it. And I did the same thing in M. M went up, took a short, came back to POC. That was it. And then M tried to go down, but we never got a price probe. So we have a trend day down. We have a gap of decent size that held. A lot of things now are changing and coming, I guess, to ahead in all the charts that we'll see. But let's go over the destinations first. So on the upside, you have two sets of single prints. First destination will be, that's L's high, 283.41 gets filled at 87 cents. 283.87. Second one starts at 283.97, gets filled at 284.16. Inside of, well, first no. Then we have the gap, right? We have today's high of 286.04, filling the gap at 288.59. That's a 255-point gap. But also inside of there, we have a 10-wide POC at 287.46. From the 28th, it's a naked POC that's been traded over and below twice. So we had it here. We gapped over it in the 29th. Never got to it yesterday, and then we gapped below it today. So this place where buyers and sellers were thrilled to do business 10 out of 13 time frames, we've been above and below it without trading. Now it's an upside destination in the middle of the gap. For the downside, we have today's low, and it's a weekly low. And that's going to be important, of 281.52. And then below that, we don't have anything until 278.50. So we have a void. And remember, that void is from all the way last Friday. Remember last Friday when this market was kind of doing what it, right? Fade it, maybe look for an afternoon rally high. And then what happened? It ripped, and we had the price spike and the price probe. I'm like, I hate price the way it acted. Didn't matter because I would have gotten crushed if I was short Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But now look at the last 2 days. Thursday down, Friday gap lower, took it all back, basically all that poor structure. So the next destination below today's weekly low is 278.50 daily low. Then 278.22 afternoon pullback low from the 22nd, and then 276.91 daily low. So things are changing. Now, let's look at the charts. Monthly. First day of the month. Now, something else changed here, which, well, my room all watches my videos, so they'll see it. I kept hopping on that 278 level, right? Well, it's changed because basically now where we are now, it's raised. So right now, we're one time framing down in the monthly. Inside month, right? You either come out of it above 294.88 or below it at 243.90. So it could take a while to decide. And we have the trend line from all the way back of March of 09. But now it's not 278 anymore. It's about, well, let's make it smaller and just hover over it. Give me a second. There we go. It's about 281.25. So kind of, our low this week is 281.52. So basically this week's low is the trend line that they've stayed above recently. And why is that important? Well, number one, you'd be below the trend line. But more importantly, in the shorter term, if we take out today's low, we finally stop one-time framing up for 6 weeks in the weekly. So the bulls who had so much going for them on Wednesday now find themselves in the precarious position of, yes, we're still one-time framing up, and just because we close by the low of the week doesn't mean we're going to take it out. But if we do take it out, monthly would be down, weekly would be in balance, and daily would be in balance. So they'd lose any advantage of being up on the weekly. Plus, and I know you guys are blue in the face hearing me talk about it, but until it doesn't mean anything anymore, I will talk about it. I told you, neither side is going to give up 287 that easily. Well, look what we did this week. I think we went back and forth through 287 just about every day this week, and now we closed $4 below it. It's an important level, and you can see here, just look at this weekly chart, what it's done. We also had a triple top for the most part. Way below that now. Ugly candle on the weekly. Inside week up. We came out of it 3 times and then failed miserably today. Not a good finish for the Bulls. Meanwhile, as bad as I'm talking about the Bulls, the market on the week, the SPY is down 10 cents. We closed at 282.89 last Friday. We closed at 282.79. So the Bulls are going to say, hey, we're one time framing up 6 weeks. We're just taking a break. And the Bears are going to say, well, you know what? You trade up to 295, and we closed at 283. But you gave up $12 late in the week. We're in charge. Remains to be seen, right? And then in the daily, yes, we're one time framing down 2 days with a gap. But just the way I gave the Bulls the benefit of the doubt, I'm not sure. I'm just going to call this balance for now. We could call it down because we do have the gap, but we are in a larger balance now. But if you want to call it down or down to balance, we could do that. The gap, no matter what, the gap is our main focus. If we do not hold last week's low, well, then that means we're getting below the trend line again. And the 50-day moving average, which is at 275.50, is going to be a very, very doable destination if we keep continuing to go to the bottom of this. Remember, it was 11 or 12-day balance. The bottom of it, I believe, is 271.41, or is it a little lower? Nope, that's it. So 271.41 is the bottom of this whole balance now. So we'll see if the Bulls could regroup and hold last week's low. If not, the Bears are going to still have the ball in their court. We had an awesome room. We have an awesome room here at Camelback Trading. We have 110 traders, experienced, novice, profile, ES, SPY, options, and it's a really good group. Come check us out, camelbacktrading.org. Incredibly affordable, $20 a month. It renews each month. Or if you want to sign up for the year, it's $200. You save $40. You have me on the mic all day, basically breaking down the market profile as it's unfolding and my trades and what we're looking for. And everybody else in the room is also chipping in through text. I hope you had a great day trading. Have a great weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.